So from November, I could see that what I would want to do was to ensure that Sacramento could do the work I really need to push forward in the next 18 months, the creation of a new quality of care commission, in effect, the provision of protection of people online, the online harms work that we're going to be doing, and also the work that I think is going to be hugely important in the next 18 months and going forward, which is the creation of an anti-corruption commission subjecting everyone in public life in Gibraltar to the 7 principles of public life. That is hugely important work, and I thought that what we needed, therefore, was a ministry that does all of our regulatory work, to bring together all of our regulatory work. So I've asked Samantha to relinquish now the GHA as the policy-making arm of government, that aspect of what we do, so that Albert Isola can deal with that. And I've asked Albert Isola to relinquish some of the things that he does, which are regulatory, town planning, and issues relating to data protection, and the Gibraltar Regulatory Authority's work there, to bring all of those within what I might call a super regulatory ministry under Samantha Sacramento. I'm asking Albert Isola to take responsibility for policy making through the cabinet in the GHA, but not the day-to-day control, because that is done, including in respect of industrial relations, by the Director General. And I myself am relinquishing industrial relations on a day-to-day basis to Stephen Linares, who has been a trade union leader. He was the leader of the GTA in the 1990s. Vijay Dhanyanani had also the OFT as part of his business portfolio, but as that is regulation of business, I'm asking Samantha Sacramento to take responsibility for that. So you've got a big regulatory ministry that's going to be like the Justice Ministry that she already runs, for me, the backbone of the regulation of government going forward, and then the other ministries remain policy-making ministries in each of their areas.
And the way you're framing it makes it sound almost like it's a positive thing to be removed from the health ministry, but it never is it?
Well, I don't know. It depends, because when I've asked people to take responsibility for the health portfolio, most of them, indeed, I can tell you confidentially, just between you, me, and this microphone, that all of my ministers for health have balked at the idea of taking on their responsibility, from John Cortes the morning after the 2011 general election through to all of them now, because it is a daunting job. And Samantha Sacramento has got probably the worst period in our history in respect of the Gibraltar Health Authority, and to boot she was Minister for Civil Contingencies, and to boot she was Minister for Justice. So I don't think that there is any question of suggesting that this is a positive or a negative for any of the ministers. I think what's hugely important is that people understand how committed the government is to regulating ourselves and what we do. We have to regulate life online. The United Kingdom and the European Union are already doing so. The United Kingdom has an online harms bill going through its stages in Parliament. Samantha Sacramento has the skills and the ability to do that, and there are very few who have those skills and the legal knowledge necessary to see through the creation of an anti-corruption authority, a care quality commission de facto by a different name in Gibraltar, and the regulation of online harms in the way that we're going to do so. And Stephen Linares certainly has the skills to carry forward the industrial relations brief, because he's been a trade union leader himself. It's very clear to me that workers' issues need to be dealt with. They need more time than I may be able to give them on a day-to-day basis. And so Stephen, I think, is a fantastic choice to do that job if I'm not going to be able to do it myself.
I imagine that you've discussed this reshuffle with your cabinet this morning. What were the reactions?
So this morning's cabinet meeting has just finished, and we've had a very convivial discussion together. We are a very close team. We work very closely together. I don't like to do cabinet reshuffles, as I did in the beginning, and as you see is done in most other places where you call one in at a time. That doesn't make for the collegiate conviviality that I like to promote amongst my colleagues. We have actually done this together. We've sat in the same room. I've explained my logic. We've had a discussion, and these are the results.
Are you preparing your team for an early election?
So what I'm doing with this reshuffle, which is a mini reshuffle, it's not a very big reshuffle, is honing the skills of the ministers of the government to the work that needs to be done for the rest of the lifetime of this parliament, which under the writ issued after the last election still runs for another 18 months or so. So I don't understand what it is that's made some of my opposition colleagues imagine that they should be out canvassing already.